What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Firewall, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Times.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
What up?
What is going on? So please continue to listen to us throughout the week. On Monday, we had I want to say I'm already losing it. We just talked about it. on Monday, I believe we talked about the scientists going to back to Jackson, Mississippi. Yep, there we go. Thank you. To start, some great acts in developing a center for people to do IT and cybersecurity. And that woman of color, by the way, on Tuesday, we discussed the a new NIST framework coming from the current administration. Some great topics there. Like if you want to join cyber, you want to get to the field, we definitely have a good discussion there. And then today we have a discussion, which I'll try not to pontificate too much before we get into it. But I found a Los Angeles Times article dealing with Puente man from LA County, who stole 620,000 iCloud photos in a plot to find nudes, basically. Like, he pulled all this data, all this, like, God bless the internet. So a hacker pulled all this data, him and his co-conspirators, to just find nude pictures. So all this information from the iCloud, all this effort to just find nude pics to then sell for other people. So the discussion is basically, and I'm trying to frame it properly because I don't like to shame or victimize victims, right? These women's images were stolen amongst a bunch of other people as well, in the pursuit of finding naked pictures. This man claims that this will ruin his life. He is the hacker. He is the person who put the images. He is the guy. His name, because we put it out there, it's Ho Chi. He's 40 years old, from Puente, Los Angeles County. Put 620 images, sent over 500,000 emails in order to capture the passwords. And I want to say he had two accounts that had 4,700 iCloud user IDs and passwords. Again, I'm not trying to victim shame. I feel bad for anybody who may have been caught up in this. In the article, they do cite that one nude was discovered, and the person was notified that their picture was being shopped around and sold online. So again, that is horrible. This man claims that he is the victim because he's been put on blast, and he has a family. He says, "I have a family," and he's
direct quote. That's a direct quote too.
Yeah, I have a family. But he's out there stealing information. But I want the conversation not to be necessarily about people putting their nudes out there, but just his ability to crack. How many accounts again? Like 4,700 accounts himself, as well as to pull 620,000 images from the iCloud. I'm done talking. What are your guys' thoughts about just your right to privacy, your inability to make a good password, or to secure your data and this man's family?
Right.
I give it to you.
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's so funny that this guy just, like, I don't know, he's on a hunt for some nude pictures. I mean, the internet it's just like, it's 90% of the internet itself is nude pictures. Why you need to go in people's iClouds to find some new shots.
It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, LeVon, because I was like, is that not enough anymore? Like, the free stuff you get on the internet, like, is that not enough anymore? Does it have to be somebody I don't want to say real because it's not like the stuff on the internet is not real people, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't know,
Right.
depends on what
Right.
you're into. But like, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, why is that not enough anymore? But go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you're right on point too. I mean, it's like I don't know, maybe he has some sort of like little fetish about like, oh, if it's somebody's like private photos that turns me on a little bit more or something. I don't know. But it's just like, the fact that, he got found out and he got put on blast. Now he's like, you know, in everybody's, uh, in the public with his information out there. People are gonna be clowning him or whatever, give him a hard time or whatever. It's like, hey, you gotta kind of um, deal with the repercussions of hacking Apple iCloud accounts. Um, Man, I'm at a loss, but it's obviously like it's his fault for kind of getting in the situation. He should not have been messing with people's accounts in the first place. And also, I mean, all these victims. I mean, I'm not sure how easily it was for him to get into the accounts, but people got to make more secure passwords and potentially, I don't know if they have it, but maybe do some two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication with their iCloud accounts. Because I've heard of this happening before, and even like some celebrities had like some of their nude shots and videos, and I don't know if that Kanye and Kim stuff was on iCloud, but I know that came out a long time ago. That was one of the most notable ones. Maybe even like before that was like Pamela Anderson and and whoever else it was. But nonetheless, this is like kind of a crazy story, but yeah, people got to try to defend their, try to protect their accounts. I even see that they put in here like about a Dropbox. You request to hack a certain iCloud account, and he would respond with a Dropbox link. Okay, so yeah, he was just like um, I guess transferring some of the stuff to Dropbox so that they can access it. I don't know if that was like his preferred like online repository or something, but
Right.
nonetheless, yeah,
That's
it's
what leads me to
it's
believe that some of it was targeted. Like, yeah, they did put a
yeah.
lot of images. It was pretty wide net, but I think some people were looking for certain people's photos.
Mm,
Um, so
I could
maybe
believe that.
maybe there are people who were in charge of companies or in government or something like that. They didn't really disclose, but some of it seemed targeted. Like, hey, I
Hmm.
want this lady's photos to see if she potentially sent a nude at some point.
So if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, I think they may have mentioned that in the article, though. I think they mentioned that he was getting requests from people like, "Hey, I'm looking for this person." I'd have to go through and look at it again. That I think that's
Yeah,
what was happening.
for
But
for blackmail and extortion, probably
yeah,
things of that
yeah.
nature. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. I was gonna say that makes sense to me if that's the reason, because like we kind of talked about when we first started, like if you're looking just for nude photos, I mean, you don't have to look too far. You might accidentally run across something just doing a quick Google search and turn off your what is it,
The safe
the
search.
filter,
Yeah,
yeah,
safe
safe search
search.
filter.
Yeah.
Turn that off and just do a
I
random Google search. You're probably the
I have
first.
I have done that before, just not paying attention to what I'm typing. Like I know what I'm
Yeah,
thinking, and I type it in.
right.
I'm like, oh no, that's not what
Oh,
I'm
what
looking
the heck?
for. No, 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 no,
I was
no, no,
like, oh
no.
no,
No.
not
Like,
safe for work. Oh no, I'm
yeah,
looking.
yeah. No, I was like, even if I'm at home on my phone, I'm like, oh, my wife might walk in. Like that's not
Yeah,
what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's funny. But if it's more targeted, that makes sense to me. Like if he like knew certain people or some people were trying to pay him some money on the side to, hey, get this certain celebrity, get this person that's working this business, this CEO, or get this, whatever uh other person that I don't like, and get the picture so I can post it somewhere and embarrass them, or, you know, extort some money out of them. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Do you have some more thoughts on it too, Shannon? What you think?
Okay, so I'm gonna preface this. Okay, this may be my last show because Ryan may not welcome me back after this. And when that's so, hey, to all the people out there, I enjoyed it. Just in case you don't see me
Right.
Oh
again.
man.
Dang.
Okay, so no, it's not gonna be that bad. It's not. But
Yeah.
no, here's my thing. So LeVon, to what you were mentioning, right, with the stuff that got out there before, that was because of security lapses in Apple, right, in iCloud, things that were beyond the user's control. That is not the case here. They sent a link, like they were pretty much phishing, is what they were doing, which phishing has been around for years and years now, and people have been warned about this. Like Apple will tell you, we will not ever ask you for your password. We're not going to ask you for your username and password over an email. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
not going to happen. there's always talk about being careful with links that are in there, right? Like this is through no fault of Apple because the information was given out to them. You know what I mean? It was given to Mr. Hugh or whatever his name is, right? Whatever his name is. So his family, okay, yeah, you have a family. That should have been what you thought about before you did this, because these are the second and third order effects from this. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your sympathy on me like, oh well, yeah, I did the crime, whatever, but my family, how am I gonna support them? This, that, and the third.
Right.
You weren't thinking about that when you were trying to find, so and so's nude pics for whomever, right?
Mhm.
So I know it sounds like I'm victim blaming, and you know what? I might as well just say it. I am in this instance, because here's why, right? So in any instance where you have any piece of technology, it is your responsibility to be aware of what it is capable of, right? And what there is for it, right? So yes, if I have an Apple phone, right? Like, so I know what Apple says, okay, they provide these certain protections for me. If they violate that, right? Like, I have a case, I might be able to take them to court. But if I'm voluntarily giving out information because I'm not paying attention to what best practices are and what's going on out there when it comes to phishing scandals or phishing scams, excuse me, not scandals, scams, that's on me. Like, I should not then go to Apple and say, oh, you didn't protect me. Like, you weren't paying attention when I gave out my stuff. You should anticipate me, Apple, that I don't know what I'm doing and I'm going to give out all this private information. You know what I mean? That you said you would not ask for. That's not on them. You know what I'm saying? So I I can't really say I have sympathy for this people, because you should have known better. You should have known better, especially in this day and age. People read what they want to read. Like, you could do a Google search when it comes to, does Apple ask? You could have just said, does Apple ask for my password and emails? Within 2 seconds, you could have seen that is not what they do, right? So like,
Right.
people will look for what they want to look for, and this is an instance of that where they just should have been more careful. So, hey, Ryan, don't cancel me. Like, let me come back. I love it.
Right.
I love it here.
That's right, Ryan. Please, please, baby,
Right.
please, baby.
Not canceled. Like, so people do have a certain responsibility to protect themselves, and then obviously Apple has there's an expectancy that Apple will keep your stuff private and safe. It doesn't really go into great detail how he got all the information. It just really talks about just him saying, like, I have a family, and you know what I mean, and how much data he was able to pull, how many accounts he was able to create. He has co-conspirators, so I'm sure he's going to flip on them pretty quick because they try and protect his family. So all that stuff will come up later throughout the weeks. So I I I want to say, like, don't take these photos and save them in the cloud, but it's your freedom. Like, that's what you want to do. But then the ramifications are pretty high. So, like, if you were somebody in some sort of seat of power or something where this can be held against you, then that's a problem. If you weren't, I mean, like, if it doesn't affect you or your family, then it is what it is. Like, you can just be like, oh well, it's out there. But obviously, they wouldn't be hunting for these photos if they weren't valuable in some regard. So there's a lesson to be had there as well.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you, Shannon. Thank you, LeVon. Always a good discussion.
Mhm.
Shannon won't be here for Friday's episode. No, I was playing.
Oh no. Oh
Just
no.
playing. This be me and LeVon. It's the me and LeVon show now.
Right.
But no, I don't think you say anything that is necessarily controversial. Like, it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, so if you have them out there, like, and I know some males who have photos out there, like, it would just be like, it is what it is. Might find it, but obviously it's different mentality
Mhm. Right.
than somebody who's, like, a teacher or a politician or things of that nature. Um, but always a good discussion. Please continue to stay tuned. Like I said, very different topics Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then this Friday, make sure you tune in where we do our weekly rundown where we talk about everything but cybersecurity news. We go into movies and TV shows. I try not to spoil things. I did one time. I apologize. I try to never do it again without a spoiler alert.
Right.
But it'll also be a very good discussion for this Friday. So please Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. Hit us up on our socials at www.theothersideofthefirewall.com. Hit me up personally at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on Clubhouse, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you, LeVon?
Hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. So stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.